Again, raise your hand. We'll get Mike to you. I saw Coach Katie. Had my picture taken.
Did you?
Yeah.
Have his ball cap on.
Yeah. And we'll start with an opening statement from Coach Painter, and then we'll go to anybody up here in the back.
Congrats to Utah State. Obviously, won their league. Very good basketball team. Obviously, that conference had a great year. Today was just our day, and I thought some things after we kind of got settled into the game, and then we were able to establish Zach at the rim. I just felt like that was too much for him, and then we balanced some things out. Obviously, made some shots from the perimeter. Two things that really stood out to me. Obviously, Zach got established there, but I thought Trey Kaufman's ability to rebound the basketball and be a part of the game was big. Then I thought Lance Jones's ability to defend Brown and really give a lot of energy and effort to picking the basketball up and just trying to make it hard on him. Brown's a really good player, and he reminds me of Mike Green, who played at Butler, was a really good player at Butler and was a good professional player overseas. Just the way he carries himself, big shoulders, can make plays, can make shots. You kind of saw that dose of it late in the game when he made those two tough pull-up threes at the end. Like he kind of had superpowers for him here the past 6-7 weeks in terms of the plays he made it into games. But I thought Lance's defense and Trey but just a good team effort. Like the guys that came off the bench, Miles Colvin, Cam Heidi, all those guys. I thought they did a really, really good job. I thought Fletch was really good. You look at his line, 15 points, 6 assists, 0 turnovers. Pretty efficient. I don't want to leave anybody out. But, Braden obviously didn't get going in terms of scoring the basketball, got those 2 fouls. And that was a big step for us right there. When Braden went out of the game, we extended that lead. And that's having a deep team. And I thought Lance Jones was solid. At times, for him, he likes to hit triples and homers. And just, being steady and hitting those singles and being solid. And I thought he was tonight. I thought he gave a great effort. But across the board, just pleased with our guys. And, anytime you can out-rebound somebody by 23 and then your turnovers are even, you're going to be in a pretty good position, especially if you're getting to the free throw line more than them.
Start right here.
Matt, Steve Stremaniak, so 8 Sports. Let's go back to Lance. You were talking about how huge that was when Braden got his two fouls. You guys expanded the lead, hit Trey inside, and he just kind of dominated the first half of that game. Talk a little bit about Lance Jones and how important he is.
Yeah, I thought just, anytime you can have that combo guard that can play both positions and can guard both positions, and then you have a quintessential point like Braden, now you have the luxury if something does go wrong, you have that other guy to be solid and to run your team, but also be able to defend. And we put Lance on points. We put him on 2s. At times we'll put him on a 3. It just kind of depends on matchups. But he's been great for us. I think it's been a little bit different for him because he's always played through his offense. And there's games that with our team and the weapons that we have that you're not always going to get a high volume of shots. You might shoot the ball 8 to 10 times for a couple games, and you might only shoot the ball 4 to 5 times. That's kind of hard for him, just getting him to that point to where he can turn some of those, possessions down and let Zach get settled and then let them deal with it. I always tell him that, if you just wait for him, let him set a ball screen, let him get into the post, and just keep things simple, things will really open up for him even more. Yes, it was really hard. Yeah, we had 2 or 3 bad shots a game for about 25 games, so I told Zach just to go rebound. So, but that's, it's hard, to play a certain way your whole life, and then, you come and you're not first fiddle. You're not second fiddle. That's okay. There's a lot of people making a lot of money professional basketball that are 4th and 5th fiddles that accept that role, and he's really accepted that role. But his effort today defensively, that was great.
Right.
Kyle, Sports Report Media. Talk about the unselfishness of your team and how much a sacrifice all these guys make, not just today in this tournament, but all season. Yeah,
when you pass the basketball, and sometimes we will overdo some things. Just when you share the basketball and pass the basketball and don't have predetermined thoughts and just take what the defense gives you. So talked to Zach about it, today before the game. I said, if they crowd you and they don't let you dribble, we just got to shoot open shots. That means you don't get a post move then. Just if they want to take it away like that, just do it. But if they don't, that's his rule. It's always been his rule. When he's one-on-one, he scores. And it starts there. It starts with Braden because they dominate the ball a lot for us. But when they start taking Braden and Zach away, that's when a lot of things open up, or they overdo some things. And whether that's ball screen action or dribble handoff or playing through the post. But, when your best players are unselfish, it's contagious. Guys, get in line.
Jerry.
Jerry Palm, CBS Sports. Hey, Matt. It's unusual to see teams play two posts, like you guys start two posts every game. And Trey had a tremendous night tonight. Both guys obviously played well. Was there something that you saw when you scouted Utah State that led you to believe that both of these guys could have big nights?
Not really. I think it can present itself. It depends on how much attention. If you go in double or you mess with it, and Zach misses it or you overdo it, you should be in pretty good rebounding position. And so I thought Trey was really good in the first game and the second half. I thought in the first half of the first round game, he was getting his hands on a lot of balls, but he wasn't grabbing them with two hands. Then the second half he was. Then today I think he just established himself and got that confidence. And that's what we need from him. Even when things don't go his way, he's just got to stay with it and keep battling. Because when you have someone like Zach that gets that kind of attention and Braden gets that kind of attention, like now if you stick a couple shooters in there, you're going to get some open looks. And then Trey can get his post-ups or Trey can get the ball off the glass.
Questions for the student athletes as well, right here.
Yeah, Zach, Todd Golden with CNHI. Zach, I know you have a lot of belief in your teammates, but when Braden came off the floor, the run, I think all but 2 points of that run were scored with him off the floor. What kind of emotional lift was that, and how did you and Trey can address this as well, how did you kind of feed off of that?
Zach?
I think it just kind of proves to the country what I've already believed. We're a really deep team. Like, someone goes out, it's like I went out, we were good. Braden went out, we were good. Like, we got a lot of guys that can go and a lot of guys that can, sustain a high level of play.
Trey?
Just what Zach said. I really don't have anything to add to that. I mean, we're a deep team. We know that whoever we put out on the floor, we're confident that they can make plays and, help us win.
Right. Back here, yes.
Vince Lembo with the Purdue Exponent. Coach, this was 106 points was Purdue's highest ever point total in a March Madness game, also tied for the highest margin of victory. Do you think that speaks more to your offense or defense? Does that mean anything to you?
I think more than anything, our defense. I thought we were really good defensively after we kind of got through the first 7 or 8 minutes. To Coach Sprinkle's offensive plan, that they did something to start the game that they hadn't done before, or in all the tape that we watched, we didn't see it. And they won a 4-5 ball screen, 5-4 ball screens. And they'd set the inverted ball screen for their big a lot this year. And so we worked on that, trying to help that, and I thought they did a good job there. But that caused us a little bit of problems. And then when we settled in, we really didn't want to foul. So we wanted them to score over us, but we wanted to mess with the dribble. So we wanted to make those things, difficult for them. And we just wanted to stay with Brown and really make it hard on Brown and then not let their shooters get going. Obviously, Martinez played well. We were familiar with him in Maryland. We knew that he could score the ball and shoot it. And, he really got off. But I think our defense really set the tone now, because when we do that, we're a good offensive rebounding team, but that defense can lead to some transition baskets. And as you get in the tournament and you play quality people, you got to be able to steal points somewhere. You can't just play in the half court. And I know we stopped them a lot there in the second half, but we just felt offensively, if we could run our half court stuff and keep working on that, that we had a place to go with the basketball.
Right.
Greg Braggs, Boilers in the stands. Matt, Zach finishes with 54 points and 35 rebounds in 2 games here in Indianapolis. You see people, around the country, even, fans, but even people that cover the game say he's just tall. What would you say to the people that say that are only looking at the size and not just the game?
Yeah, they just shouldn't cover basketball. Yeah, And so, you go to school and you learn things or whatever, but we all don't like every single class we're in, right? It's kind of a necessary evil. It's like going to work. You don't like everybody you work with, or you don't like certain parts of your job, and, it's tough, right? You got to be able to deal with, certain things that are difficult. And so I just think everybody should, take tests on their knowledge of what they're doing. I think all coaches should take a test so they understand refereeing, And I think all referees should take a test so they understand coaching. And I think all journalists should have to take a basketball quiz or a test, or anybody that tweets, they should have to be able to do it. And if they say something so moronic as that, then they should have to have a probationary status where they can't tweet for like 3 months. I think it'll help like society, like just try to knock out the fools, so they don't have to, meet at the local Walmart and say things that don't make any sense.
Ben Baby with ESPN. If it makes you feel better, we get pop quizzes. They're called layoffs. So Zach actually became the first player since Kareem to have, hold on, let me read it right, going to our stats department, to have 50 points, 35 rebounds, and 65% shooting through the first 2 games. How good has he felt? How good has he looked, and how good has he performed through these first couple games?
Well, he's just performed like he has, here the last couple years. 3 years ago, he was a good player for us. He caused problems, he did things, but it wasn't where he is now. He's just continued to get better, and, we expect it. Like, we go into games, and, like, our staff always looks at me and says, like, what do we need to do? So, well, Zach needs to get 20 rebounds. And everybody always laughs at that. But you're not asking somebody to do something he can't do. He can do that. And, just get him to be consistent and explain where you think the double's coming from, and then explain some of the action. They're going to attack him. Everybody is going to attack him because they want him out of the game. So just getting him on that, it has nothing to do with numbers. He has great knowledge of the game, and he understands the game, but he also doesn't have a wall. Most players have a wall to where, are they really listening 100% to what you're saying? He didn't have all that shit from recruitment. So, like, he just stops, and Coach Brantley talks to him in film. I talk to him about certain things. PJ talks to him about offense, Coach Johnson, Coach Lusk. He just takes it in. There's not a pushback, but we also want to collaborate and we want to talk. And so, like, let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you think here. And sometimes, I'm wrong. Sometimes he's wrong. But the film doesn't lie, right? And so we just try to work through it and just keep growing and keep getting better. But no, he's great. He's easy to coach. He's obviously got some great physical skills, but he's pretty intelligent.
Mike?
Zach, Mike DeCourcy from Sporting News. You were up 31 when you came out with 12 minutes and change. At that point, did you think you were going to get back into the game, and did you at all lobby Coach to try to get back in as the lead kept going up and up?
I think his job is to coach and make those decisions. Like, whatever he wants to do. If he wants to leave me in for the rest of the game, I would have stayed in for the rest of the game. If you want to take me out and leave me out, that's how it was going to be. I think it's his job to make that decision. It's my job to play basketball.
Right here.
Travis Miller with Boiler Upload. Zach and Trey, you guys obviously very familiar with Gonzaga in the next round, played them each of the last 2 seasons. How much is that familiarity going to help you prepare for them this week, especially since it's only been a couple of months since you saw them on the court with this exact same team?
Trey, start with you.
No, it helps, but, they're a different team now. When you go throughout the season, you get better, you get more connected as a unit, you get better defensively, you get better offensively. So while they have the same personnel, it's they're just better together.
Zach?
Yeah, I think they're a different team. We're a different team. We're going to approach it like it's a new game.
We've only got time for a couple more, so right here.
Zach, a year ago around this time, or a month later, you decided to run it back. Now that you're here at this moment, getting to the Sweet 16, is there any level of satisfaction? What are your feelings right now, getting to this point and getting to the next round next weekend?
It's no satisfaction. I don't think anybody on this team, I didn't come back to make the Sweet 16. I came back to make a run, a deep run. Nobody's satisfied with where we are now. Everybody wants to keep pushing, and we're going to keep taking care of our bodies, keep executing, focus on this game plan, and prepare for Gonzaga.
Right over here.
Zach, Kyle Nedramp with the Indianapolis Star. I think Trey had 8 points and 3 rebounds in the first 5 minutes of the game. Can you kind of describe what that meant for the impact that he had early, and then maybe his improvement also you've seen as a teammate over the last year or so?
It was huge. It gave us a huge boost. They were hitting some tough shots. He got to kind of answer with those 2-and-1s in a row. He really got us going and provided that offense at the start. It just kind of shows this isn't like an outlier for him. This is what he can do. This is who he is. We all believe in him, and we all trust him to have games like this every time he steps on the floor.
Last question.
Mark Monteith, IBJ. Trey, what has it been like for you with this team? You know, you have not had a starring role throughout the season. You're usually the first guy subbed out. Some games you only get a couple shots up. How difficult of an adjustment has that been for you, and what have you done to be able to make that adjustment?
I don't think it was too difficult. I mean, I was looking at like last year at this time, like we had such a good team, you know, and where was I going to find a role to help this team win? And that's what I thought about like a lot during the offseason, how I can just help the team win and improve. You know, I'm just lucky to, you know, we had such a good team last year that I even found the role on this team. So I'm just appreciative of that. And, you know, the guys believing in me, coach believing in me, and for the success we've had so far.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you. Pass it.
All right, Utah State is here. And we will open with the opening comment from Coach Sprinkle, and then we'll go to anybody up here in the day. So go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, you know, first thing, super proud of my team. I mean, the season we had, I mean, it was historic for Utah State to win 28 games, an outright Mountain West championship, to win a game in the NCAA tournament against a tough Big 12 team. You know, couldn't be more proud of our guys. You know, Darius, obviously, you know, a senior leader, our other, you know, senior Landon Brenchley, for what they did from a leadership standpoint, bringing 13 brand new players together was absolutely incredible. Shows what kind of character our team has. Tonight just ran into a buzzsaw. You know, I mean, we knew they were really good. You know, I think there's elite teams and there's special teams, and like they can be special. When you have a player, you know, like Zach Edey, he's special. Like there hasn't been many guys like that in college basketball history, and so, you know, that's why I think they can just take it to another level. You know, and we told our guys even before, like, yeah, Zach Edey's obviously a National Player of the Year. They got other really, really good players, and, you know, they can't go unnoticed. You know, I thought it seemed like they made every three-pointer and every even mid-range jump shot tonight, which you have to make them make some of those, and if they do, you know, you just got to pat them on the butt and say congrats. But couldn't be more proud of our team, and, you know, it was one of those games. We ran into a buzzsaw, but it doesn't take away what we accomplished this year.
Right here.
Danny, Steve Streaming, XL8 Sports. Watched a lot of Mountain West basketball. This cannot define your team because you guys won that championship, and there are 6 teams playing in this tournament. Talk a little bit about your team and what you think you guys accomplished this year, and especially Darius, because he scored some baskets late, but he's an elite guard.
He is. You know, what our team did this year was historic. You know, I don't know if it'll be done again at the Power 5, Power 6 level. You know, when you're playing Mountain West, Big Ten, like, it's hard to do with a completely brand new roster. You know, Was there some luck involved? No question. But when you have a leader like Darius who literally just put guys on his shoulders and showed them the way, and as a point guard, he was an extension of our coaching staff, and from the summer on, and he deserves more credit than anybody because what he did with this pretty young group, and to build confidence in those guys by being a true point guard and like getting those guys shots. It made our whole team better. It made everybody more confident. And like I said, there's some tremendous point guards in the Mountain West, guys that'll play in the NBA, and don't be surprised if this kid does. He has intangibles and he has elite skills that not many players do nowadays, and that's being more for a point guard, being there for a teammate, getting guys shots. Like, he would rather do that than shoot, and he's made so many of our guys, so much better and more confident throughout the year. And, he's elite. For him to do that in our league, like I said, with the point guards in our league, there was only one that led their team to an outright championship, and that's him. And that's an unbelievable accomplishment.
Right back here.
Jack Johnson, the Utah Statesman. What are your thoughts on those 4 quick fouls at the beginning of the game on Sacco and Johnson?
Yeah, it's hard. Like, he's hard to guard without fouling. They've shot almost 400 more free throws than their opponents this year for a reason. And that's why I was saying, like, he's a special player. You have to guard completely different than you have all year. Like, there's post guys that you play against that you have to double team and do all this, but like, it's impossible when he keeps it high and he's got great touch and he's finding guys and they got elite shooters around him. It's kind of pick your poison, and you have to hope they miss shots, and then you got to be able to rebound it. And I thought that's kind of when the game started breaking open, was when they started getting some second chance points. But the refs were great. Like, yeah, we probably fouled them.
Right here.
Sean Harrison with the Herald Journal. Coach, did you think about calling a timeout during that run when I know you like to let the guys kind of play it out, but when they started getting some momentum and the crowd got into it, did you think about a timeout at all during that?
Yeah, we did. We did at one point, in the first half, and it was that 1 4-minute span, they outscored us by 11, and it was bad offense on our part. We were pretty good the first, 12 minutes maybe of offense. It was a pretty close game. And then we kind of got a little selfish, and we started going one-on-one, and a couple turnovers, a couple just driving into multiple bodies and, missing layups. And then if you fall down, they're transitioning. And that's where the game kind of got out of hand there.
Right back, right over here.
Jason Walker with Cash for the Daily. Coach, how much do those fouls impact maybe even your offense, just your rotation in general, where a lot of guys had to take a seat on the bench and it kind of threw you guys off, and then, obviously Purdue went on a run late in the half as you guys were picking up more and more fouls?
Yeah, it does. It throws off your rotations, and it's hard. Like, we don't have enough big bodies to keep throwing at Edey. Like Carson and Great, those are the two really that have some meat on their bones that can kind of – now, it's not like you're going to move him, but at least you can hold your ground a little bit. But they got – obviously when Khalifa got in, they scored 6 straight points, on – offensive putbacks and not boxing out and things like that, which, affected us early. But, like I said, you can game plan all you want, but then you got to go play the game. And it comes down to, I thought they had great pace. They were aggressive. Even off their DHOs, their guards were really pushing the ball downhill. And now you have Edey rolling, and now we got a 6'2", 180-pound guy tagging on the roll. It's different.
Right here.
Colin McMahon, Hoosier Network. Darius, what did it mean to you to make this transition from Montana State to Utah State with Coach Sprinkle, make back-to-back NCAA tournaments with 2 different schools, and then get your first NCAA tournament win this year?
Darius?
Yeah, it was special. These past 2 years with Coach Sprinkle have been special and very essential to my future, and I can't thank him and the staff enough for what they've done for me. The transition from Montana State to the Utah State was definitely a transition, more of just because of the whole new roster and everything. But I felt my whole career that I could play at a high level and play in a really good conference, and it took some time for me to move up, due to opportunities and all different types of things. But I've always felt I could play at this level, and I'm glad that for my last year I got an opportunity to play in a very high level conference like the Mountain West Conference and show what I can do. So.
Right over here.
Sean Harrison with the Herald Journal again. Ian, can you talk a little bit about that first half when it seemed like you really got going, those back-to-back threes, and I think you scored 11 straight points for the team?
Ian?
Yeah, throughout the season, I felt like, at times where I saw just one basket go in, I just kind of get going. I've told my teammates or coaches, I kind of just need one shot to go in to start moving, to get hot. So that's basically what happened. It happened a couple of times before in the season. New Mexico, UNLV, 12 points, 10 points in a row.
Right here.
For the players, Coach talked about how remarkable the season was. I guess could just both the players just talk about what it means for you guys to be part of this team, how unique it was to have the success you did, given the circumstances you guys were in.
Ian, we'll start with you.
No, for me, it's really special. I mean, just in my personal journey, it's been really tough. I've been in a lot of different places, and it's an international. A lot of times I just look for a place to call home, and this guys, just the coaching staff, the players, they just made it really special for me. They took me, they were there for me the whole time. They believed in me, and I, never had people who actually believed in me, and it meant a lot for me.
Darius?
Yeah, to me, I mean, everything just, feels kind of like a storybook ending. Starting from 2 years ago when I broke my knee at Cal State Northridge and had to sit out the whole year, and then making that grad transfer to Montana State, then kind of going into it like a completely different situation as far as the whole team was kind of already there, and I was just, me and two other guys were the transfers. So dealing with, a team that's already been there, and then dealing, with that, and then, the next year it's the complete opposite, where I'm the one that has the most familiarity with the coaching staff, and it's a brand new team, and then still able to do great things and win an outright title and win a tournament game, and just all the ups and downs of the year. Like it just seems, to me in my college career, just a storybook ending. Obviously, we would have liked to keep going as long as we could, but when you run into a team like Purdue, and they have a guy like Zach Edey, and then when the guys around them are making shots, it's like there's only so much you can do. So
we have time for a couple more. Right here.
I don't know if you want to share, Darius, but it seemed like you and Coach had a really long talk when he pulled you out of the game. Did you share anything that the coach said to you during that moment?
Just that he's proud of me, and that it's been a long, great year. It's been a long, great year. The short version of the story. So.
Super thankful. I know the reason this team is here and won an outright championship is because he made a decision to come to Utah State, and I can't speak more highly of the person he is and how much he means to me personally, but this team, our staff, and I know, like I said, he's a legend now in Utah State basketball with the way he played this year and some of the shots he hit.
Last question.
Coach Sprinkle, you mentioned how special and historic this season was for your team. Looking off the court, what do you think made this season possible for you guys?
The way our guys came together, you could see in the summer, some of the local guys, Mason and Isaac and Landon, bringing the team to their house, or even their parents' houses, and having barbecues, and them showing them around Cache Valley, going up to Bear Lake, and the camaraderie that built in the summer, it translated to the court. And then we coached them pretty hard, we put them through some hard stuff, even in the summer and in the fall. Even trying to break a couple of guys, just to kind of see what they were made of, and made them rely on their teammates, to be there for each other. And the first time I really saw it was in the Cayman Islands, when I saw how close this team was, and the way they, just by their interaction, whether it was walking in the hotel or at pregame meals, and you could see there was something special there. Now, I never would have told you we'd win an outright championship in the Mountain West, but you could see that this group had something and they cared about each other.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Attention in the workroom, the media room will stay open until 8:20 p.m. TV can do recorded stand-ups inside the bowl off the playing floor until 8:20 p.m. And finally, TV stations can do live hits outside Gainbridge at any point. And we appreciate your cooperation. Thanks, Hammond. Thanks to Fieldhouse. Thanks to IUPUI. Thanks to the Horizon League.